Everything you're about to see we grew from seed on our 1 acre farm. This is the Lost Acre in midsummer, and today we're just going to walk through it, what's blooming, what's producing, what surprised us, and what didn't make it. No lessons today, just the farm. If you're new here, I'll tell you what each flower is, and I'll connect you to the video that covers how we grew it. So if something catches your eye, you can learn about the whole story. And if you stay to the end, I got an announcement about a series we've been building for months that I think you're going to want to see. Let's go for a walk. All right, welcome to our Zinnia Block, one of two. If you got to see us plant the zinnias that were super long and leggy because they stayed too long in the grow room, these are them. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I have to say, I've never had to plant the zinnias that were that long and leggy before. That's never been a situation that I got stuck with. And these may be the healthiest zinnias I've ever had at this point in time in the season. There's a possibility that maybe I'll let everything get really long and put it out. The jury's still out, but we'll see. But these have just exploded and taken off, and I've never had a group of zinnias look this good this early in the season. We're going to make our way over to block 4. This is block 3. Our farm is laid out in blocks. Each block is 4 rows, and each row is 50 feet long. And that's how we've set everything up. That helps keep the watering even. So block 4 over here is pretty much everything we grow for kind of filler or background flowers. Status is one of them. It's probably one of our favorites. I will say, because you learn stuff every year, I overwintered Status, and it did come back, but I probably won't do it again. We're starting to get some, I guess you'd call it disease, or I don't know if it's just petering out, but it's not doing as well as it has in years past. But Gomphrena and Yarrow, those are looking good. I've probably transplanted the Yarrow all over this property at all over different places all over the farm. This is its 3rd spot, and it just keeps coming back like a weed. So if you're looking for a plant that's bulletproof, I'd recommend Yarrow. We'll head back to our dahlia area. I'll go a little farther back so you can see some more farming destruction. So the dahlias are just starting to come up, but you're going to notice some blank areas here. So we had Jason Bourne come through the farm and destroy about 12 or 15 dahlia plants. And you know, if you name one of the gophers after an action movie hero, that's not a good sign. So that's why we have some holes. The gopher just plowed his way through and would jump over the traps and avoid them. And I think we eventually had a coyote or something come through and we'll just say scare Jason Bourne away because he's no longer around. But the remaining dahlias that didn't get eaten are also looking really well and are starting to flower. I believe this one, I don't know if you can get a close-up. My wife's doing the camera. I believe this one's called Alley-oop, if I remember right. And it's one of our early bloomers. And it's done really well. And everything, again, over here looks really healthy. And I'm going to go behind you here to, I'm going to come off to the side. This is one of our pride and joys and mistakes at the same time. So our Lisianthus is just coming into bloom, and we are going to get something we've been trying for years. I've been trying to get red, white, and blue flowers for 4th of July, and it looks like it's going to work out this way for 4th of July with Lisianthus. But this and this empty row here were my attempts to overwinter Lisianthus. So I will not be making a video on how to overwinter Lisianthus because I have not mastered that skill yet. So I've kept this here as my reminder that this didn't work out. I think what I did wrong, because I'm going to try it one more season. These rows are all 30 inches across, and I planted them six plants across, and it just overwhelmed the trellis system and it started to break down. I think they ended up getting crushed. So everything you see in this direction was planted 4 plants across. and then I restaked it. So I'm gonna save this little section here of green Lisianthus, and I'm gonna see if they do better than this for next year. If it works out, I'll let you know. But this is something we've always enjoyed growing. It's one of our favorite summer flowers. I'm gonna back around here behind my wife to go to our second Zinnia Block. And these are about a month behind the first block that we looked at. So we do ours in succession, just so they don't all hit at once, and we kind of have a little stronger base of flowers a little later in the year, because they do start to peter out, although they will go all the way till fall. But these are different colors. This section here was very interesting. I got aphids all over these before they came outside. So our grow room that we grow in is an enclosed building, and somehow aphids got inside the building and got all over these. And so they looked pretty rough when they came out, but I was able to save them all, or almost all. There's a couple of holes that didn't make it, but they're super healthy now, and they may be a week behind because of the aphids, but they will catch up. And this empty section, along with the empty section over here to my right, is where we will plant fall. So this was all spring crops, and it has been cleaned out except for the feverview, because that will sprout again. And will be used for fall, which will actually start in about a week. We're filming this on Father's Day, so we'll start those plants and then get them planted out in about 3 to 4 weeks. Normally this does sit empty in between spring and fall for about 2 to 3 weeks sometimes as I get it cleaned out. But we had 90-degree temperatures for a week in early March, and so that shut spring down really early. And due to that, they've been sitting empty longer than I like. One of my goals is that there's always something growing in every bed all year long. Haven't got there yet. I'll keep you posted on how that works out. And we'll head down our barn. I did get clematis to grow on the outside trellis. We used to use this for sweet peas, but sweet peas die off. And one thing we've noticed as our people come to the farm, they want to see flowers, they want to see beauty, they're looking at the garden aspect of it. So the sweet peas die back, so this will be a permanent feature, and we will get annuals planted in there next year. I almost forgot our grasses. One of my favorite things to pair with sunflowers are grasses. We also dry a lot of these and use them in the fall. So this is gems, and we put those with our sunflowers, and then amaranth is another one that we love to put with our sunflowers. So these actually are ready to get harvested. We already have a bunch in the cooler, and the rest of these will get put in buckets in the barn so we can dry them and then use them this fall as well. There's a couple rows of them, but we'll head back this way towards our chrysanthemums. So these are our first year with these. These were plugs that I planted, so I'm not expecting to get a bunch of flowers off of them this year. But eventually we would like to surround the outside of our building here. That's why we planted this planter, and have these for the fall as well too. But they're getting there. They haven't died yet. We do have one over here, if you want to come around, Shelly. So I'll see if she can get it in. So there's one tiny chrysanthemum down there, and that's because one of the metal flowers off the shed during a windstorm came and decapitated it. But it had a bud on it, and it's coming back. So it'll look short the whole rest of the year, but it will make it. And we let one of our sunflower rows grow, our bloom for the video. We also gave them away to kids who came to the farm this week to try and get the parents to bring the kids down here for to kind of learn a little bit about flowers and farming, and that worked out pretty well. And they look gorgeous. And I have to say, I don't remember which sunflower that is off the top of my head. I'll go look. I do know it's a pro cut, so a single stem, and it's called Sunrich Summer is the name of it. And I don't think I've grown it before, but I'm kind of maybe wish we would have let something else go to flower and use that one. We'll definitely grow that one again. You can come around the side. You can see we have Just Crazy. It's a branching sunflower that's been in bloom. And then if you come back over here, dear, you can see the little, well, they're not super little anymore, that have started back there in the back to your right. And then there's the empty row, that's the next one to get planted. Watch your feet there, sweetheart. Mm-hmm. And then the amaranth here is just about ready to get harvested. Again, this is something we love to use with sunflowers. I will warn you, if you've never grown amaranth before, once you grow amaranth, wherever you've grown it, you will always grow amaranth there. It comes back. You probably only need to buy seed once. And as long as you don't care where it grows, as far as it's in a neat row, it will come back every single year. All these are seeds. One of the other things, I should come around so you can get in the front, sweetheart. So this is our eucalyptus tree that obviously has been here way longer than we've owned the farm and been here. But one of the things we've been working on doing, this is kind of a little surprise for you viewers out there on YouTube, that we do change this out every season. So right now we've put the summer stuff in a couple of weeks ago, and it's starting to fill in, and then we'll do the same in September with fall. We start all this, so right now it's marigolds and Dusty Miller in there. And we haven't got it all dialed in yet, but one of the things we're working on is this October, November, is to set it up so you as the viewer of our videos will get to decide what this looks like for spring next year. And so stay tuned, we're working on that. We're getting it set up, but I thought it would be fun if everybody that gets to see how we do things and learns from what we're doing here, that you get to have some say and see how this turns out, because it is a big feature. Everybody that comes here, once it's all filled in and bloom, everybody takes their picture in front of it and has a lot of fun. We're gonna walk down. You comfortable walking down the hillside a little bit, dear? All right. This is my wife's little trailer. Again, we're doing this on Father's Day, so we're closed today. This is a little boutique is inside. And I will take you down to the super secret illegal room. All right, so we have no greenhouse on the farm. So this is our super secret, buried into the hillside seed starting room. I'll take you in. So this is our seed starting room. And the next week, we'll start filling a big section of it up again for fall. We do grow for a local nursery too as well. So we just do spring annuals for them. And during the winter, this room is packed to the gills. But you are underground, so the temperature is always perfect. And kind of a neat little place, hidden gem to the farm that you don't get to see from the road. All right, I promised you an announcement. Next week, I'm launching a 3-part series I've been wanting to make since I started this channel. It's called the Flower Garden System series, and it covers the 3 things that actually keep our flower farm alive and flourishing all season long. Part 1 is the fertilizer we've been using for 3 years and why we chose it. Part 2 is the system that delivers it automatically, so I never mix a batch by hand. And Part 3 is the biological pest control program we run. It's a product that is just now becoming available to home gardeners for the first time. Here's the thing. I am one person managing this entire garden. Everything you just saw on this tour, I maintain all of it. No big equipment, just shovels, wheelbarrows, and rakes. And everything I'm about to show you in this series is designed to make that possible. If you're growing 10 flowers or 10,000, the same system scales to your garden. If what you just saw made you want to walk outside and grow something, that's exactly why I started this channel. Subscribe because this is what one person could grow on 1 acre, and I want to show you how to do it on yours. The first video drops next Thursday. I'll link the Zinnia harvest video or the vase life video right here. Those are two perfect ones to watch while you wait. Drop a comment and tell me which flower in today's tour caught your eye. I read every single one. Until next time, live life in full bloom.